Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir El-Azouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we will have the December 2025 regulatory update. So let's look at that. So first, let's have our sponsor Medboard. So if you don't know Medboard, Medboard is really a platform that can help you for your regulatory intelligence. So here is a video of who is Medboard.
Hello, it's Antonella here from Medboard. We are proudly sponsoring this podcast, and if you are struggling in keeping up to date with regulatory news and requirements, we have a solution for you. Medboard is the only one knowledge and automation platform for regulatory, clinical, market, and PMS in medtech, pharma, and life sciences. With our unique approach, we combine extensive global data, software products, and AI solutions for many different processes, from regulatory intelligence to literature reviews, post-market surveillance, work management, and many more. Our platform is transforming knowledge accessibility and process productivity to let you know more and do faster. We are already changing people's lives like you, with proven value from our customers. So just contact us at medboard.com to learn more about us and do a free trial. And now, enjoy this podcast with Munir.
Okay, so let's go first for Europe. So in Europe, we have had a report from the European Union that are mainly talking about, it's a survey, it's a report with a survey, talking about disruption. So mainly explaining the situation related to disruption. So you remember that the EU has also updated the EU MDR with the Article 10A, asking you that each time you will have a disruption for your products you have, or for certain products, high risk products, you have to inform the European Union or your competent authority. And here, mainly they made a survey to explain the situation. So the numbers are really interesting because they are explaining that mainly since the UMDR is in place, we have 48% of disruption in Europe, which is nearly half of products that disappeared in Europe. And when you look at the reasons, the main reason is the cost of EU MDR. So the cost of this transition, or the cost of complying to EU MDR, is really huge. I mean, we talk about that since a long time, so it's not like a surprise. Yes, the cost of EU MDR is really huge. The transition is really huge. What was true before is not true anymore now. So mainly this is the thing where I understand. So at the end, maybe the small businesses are losing, the big businesses are winning because they have the budget to move forward. And this is really the situation that we can see on the market. So it's why read really this report to understand mainly what's happening. And the losers, if I can say, will be again the patients and the healthcare professionals, because maybe you will have to go to a country outside of Europe to be able to reserve some products that you were able to reserve before, just due to that. So good, bad, I don't know. So I cannot judge, because yes, maybe it's good for having a EU MDR because it will be really restricting some products that maybe were dangerous, but maybe some products were not dangerous at all and cannot pass EU MDR also. So at the end, there is a mix here. And related to IVD, which is also a big problem, it's 40%. And you remember that IVD started later. So it's more about also to maybe increase, if I can say, when we really have a full IVDR in place. So yeah, if you want to get more information, look at that. But if you want to get these products, as I've said, maybe you will have to go out of the European Union. We have now the consultation made by SHEER. Can't remember what SHEER means. Scientific something, opinion, health, blah blah. So mainly, they are asking you your opinion in regarding the brain stimulators. So mainly, they are trying to get your insight. Is brain stimulators dangerous? When it's just a precision, when it's not for medical purpose. for maybe relaxation or for whatever that you can imagine. So maybe you have some manufacturer that will create some brain stimulators that will send you some waves to your brain, and mainly they are asking, is it dangerous? So I suppose they are really asking the expert of brain stimulation or expert of those waves or physical things, because if I hear that, oh, there is some waves coming to my brain, maybe I say, maybe it's dangerous. So it's not, maybe not. But what is funny, I would not say funny, but when you are reading this report, they are writing inside that, no, it's not dangerous. They are saying, we have evaluated that it's not dangerous at all, etc. But they are asking still your opinion about that. So, then you have until the 2nd of February 2026 to provide your opinion. So, if you are an expert, please go read that and tell us, do you think it's really dangerous or not? Should we use it or not? I know, I remember now what I read. It's not dangerous if it's used by professionals. So what are professionals? I don't know. So this is the thing that should be maybe precise. So maybe it will be dangerous if it's used by layman person alone. So it's also something that should be clarified. So if you are manufacturing those type of devices, then please provide your proofs that everything is fine, and provide your opinion also to the consultation that the SHRA is providing. Go on the show notes and you'll have all the links, and then you can just click on it. Question and answer for combination products on medical devices and drug has been updated. So it's a document that is in place since a long time. There was multiple updates. So if you look at the document, you'll see all the updates on the questions. And in December 2025, we have new questions that were raised. So it's the 6th edition, 6th revision with new questions. So I just copied the question, so I'll read that to you. So maybe it can be interesting question also for you. So how does Article 117 of the MDR impact IDDC, so those devices with integrated drug devices mainly. How does Article 117 of the MDR impact integral drug device combination authorized under MDD? So because we have those products that were authorized under MDD, so now how Article 117 is impacting that? The second question is, will I need to provide a new or updated EU declaration of conformity or certificate of conformity issued by a notified body or notified body opinion if there are changes to the device or device part after the initial marketing authorization? And this is a really interesting question, because yes, you ask the notified body to provide you an opinion letter, for example, for your device, combination device, maybe for example a prefilled syringe. But now, if you are updating or changing your syringe, again, not the drug, but the syringe, because you add a new feature, should you again ask the opinion again from notified body? So this is something that can be interesting. Then, how should I submit changes to the terms of the marketing authorization following changes to the device or device part? So how to submit all those things. So you see, I ask the question, but I don't give you the answers because I don't want to tease. To spoil all this. So go on the document on the show notes and find the answer if this is interesting. But again, these are just the 3 questions that were added in December. There are many more questions that were added that are on the document. So if you are in this drug device combination, or if you are a consultant that want to know more about drug device combination, I think these questions can be interesting for you to learn or to understand, because as you may know, if you have some customers that are asking you some question, you need to know where to find the answers. Okay, so be careful of this. The EU MDR, as I've said, is updating the rules also for drugs. So if you are a drug company and have a medical device within your drug as an integral part, then Article 117 is applicable for you. Then you have to have a notified body, then etc. So just review those question and answers if you were not aware of all this. Eudamed is I will not say live because it was already live, is mandatory, will be mandatory. I mean, we talk about Eudamed since 2021 or even before 2021, because in 2021 it was said that it will be in place, etc. Now we are 2025, and finally the audit of Eudamed was completed, and finally by can't remember the date, 28th of May 2026, this will be mandatory. Not all modules, because it will be just the module of economic operators, device registration, certificates, and market surveillance. The module for vigilance, I don't think it's existing even, but I know they were talking about that. It will come later, yeah, but it's even not live at all, so it's not to discuss. But mainly, yes, these will be mandatory by the 28th of May 2026. Remember, before it was said, all the modules should be available before we can make it mandatory. And then beginning of the year, we have this gradual rollout, which means that now the rule is that if a module is available and it's audited and everything is fine, then we'll make a module available, module mandatory one by one. So here you have 4 modules that will be mandatory. The last one, which is market surveillance, is not for us. It's for for national competent authorities that will have. It's like the control tower to verify that all products are safe or not. So be ready then, because by the 28th of May 2026, you have to have all your products, all your company products inside Eudamed. Now the question, I haven't read that, but the question is more about the national databases, how it will be working. Should you also register in the national database, like for DMI, DI for the German or for other databases? Or is Eudamed now the database for everybody and we are removing the others? So this I don't know, but you have to know that this can create a big work for you. Specifically, if you have a big portfolio. If you have a small portfolio, I think it's fine. You can make it that by hand. If you have a big portfolio, then maybe you need the support from other companies. And you can contact us to help you because we know some partners that can help you for this. So don't hesitate to contact Easy Medical Device if you have this kind of demand. And we can go to, help you to find the right partner to help you on the mass, if I can say mass population of Eudamed. Now in the UK, so we have, I don't know if you know the series Better Call Saul, which is the lawyer things, a series, a bad series, because you should not look at that, it's a bad inside, what is mentioned inside. But here we have Better Call MHRA, which mainly MHRA is offering their services as a consulting, like FDA does for pre-submission, for example. Here MHRA says mainly that you can have a discussion with them to consultation. But they are still making some restriction, but the structured dialogue with notified body or approved body should be still in place, etc. So there are multiple things. And also they say the same thing as the US says when we do pre-submission. They say, but if a guidance is existing on your questions, we'll just point you to the guidance, nothing else. So be careful to what is there. Just one thing, US pre-submission is free of charge, but here it's 987 pounds. 987, not 1000, not 980, no, 987. It will take 1 hour approximately, this consultation. You have 10 to 15 minutes of presentation of your case, and after the call you have to make some notes of the call, and after the call you have to submit your notes to the MHRA that they confirm that the understanding was clear also. So if you are interested, you can go, and on the show notes you have the link, and you can then fill the form and request this MHRA consultation if you need. But it costs 987 pounds, so be careful also of that. Standards now. So we have 2 standards that were updated. The first one is ISO 10993-1, which is, we talked about that many times. So the standards related to the biological evaluation. So we have the new version 2025 that was just published in November, and mainly there are a lot of there is a lot of philosophy of for this standard. We can discuss. I can explain to you many things, but mainly we have the risk assessment or risk management that is helping a lot, because you remember, if you know the standards, there is a table that says if you are this kind of products with this kind of time, you have to do this kind of test. Now this table is not mandatory, which means that you can still justify with some risk assessment that you don't need to do this test because that etc. So there are some changes in philosophy, but We'll talk about that a bit later because we have also made a podcast with Marina Deneco related to this, and she's explaining mainly what are the changes. So if you are interested, there is also a video that we have made on YouTube. So it's also on the show notes. So you just click and you'll see the summary of this standard, so you will have an understanding of the standards. Next standards, ISO 18969, which is in draft mode, and this is the standard related to clinical evaluation. If you know the history, under MDD we have a MedDev guidance. So MedDev 2.3 revision 4, 2.1, I can't remember. So this MedDev is mainly MedDev related to clinical evaluation. It tells you everything about how to do clinical evaluation. It's really a great guide. Everything is great. But now we have the EUMDR, so there are some changes, if I can say, to do to that. And instead of creating a new guidance, now it was decided to create an ISO standard. And this is the ISO 18969, which mainly is explaining how you should do your clinical evaluation for respecting the EU MDR. This is in a draft mode, so you can go, also the link in the show notes, to get the draft, and you have to provide your comments until the January 28, 2026. I put June, no, it's January 28, 2026, where you can explain mainly that you don't like this or don't like that, or you want more precision on this. I will try to read it and to try to provide some comments also, because this standard is really, really, really important. As we mentioned before a lot of time, with EUMDR, the most critical work or the report is the clinical evaluation report. If you don't make it right or correct, then you will not pass the EUMDR. So it's why this standard should be as clear as possible, practical as possible also, so that you are really creating a clinical evaluation report that will be really accepted by notified bodies. And this is why please comment on this, read it and comment it, because it's really really important. Again, we have also made a video on our YouTube channel. I will put also the link on the show notes, so that you can also get a view of the video and a view of the content of the standard, and also with the timeline, because it's mentioned the timeline also, since when it was created until when it is there, etc. So I think it will be important for you, because this will be a central standard that you all need to have on there, on your portfolio of standards, and all need to understand. So we'll try to maybe communicate more on that. I will try to invite some people to have a discussion on the podcast. But mainly, yeah, this is something that you really have to have under your radar. Okay, so now we have the Easy Medical Device is creating some tools also, and we have created a tool which is called EasyIFU, which is initially for electronic instruction for use, but we are now creating more modules, and one module is the label module. So if you have a company, if you are a company that is manufacturing your own products and you have to create labels, so this module is helping you to create labels that are dynamic, which means that each time you change your manufacturing date, expiration date, lot number, etc., it will change with you every day with when you are going to the platform. So you go to the platform, first you design your label, you put all the information you want, you put there is a dynamic sections also, and then after that you can make production, which means that you say, oh, this lot number, and then you can create 50 labels of it, put them on your products, and it will be stored inside the system. So then you have also an history of all the label information for your traceability. It's also linked with the EIFU. So if you have an EIFU, it will be also putting the QR code of the EIFU inside the label. So it's a tool that is really helpful for small productions, maybe that are willing to keep track on what they are producing, and also to have labels that are having the UDI code that is also dynamic, that is changing, and that is really making your life easier in terms of keeping up with the production and everything, without really also investing a lot of money. Because I remind you, it's free for the first product, and then we are trying to help you now with some additional plan cost, if I can say, for a bit more products. But you can check that on the link of the website, which is called EasyIFU. So easyifu.com, and you can go there, you can register, and you can use also for EIFU if you want, but also for product labeling if you're interested. And we'll create more and more label templates. We have for 3 label templates, but we'll do more in the near future. Now the rest of the world. So we start with Argentina. Argentina is creating a simplified procedure for registration of devices, specifically for class 1 and class 2 devices, or class A and class B, which looks like the self-declaration related to EU MDR, but I'm not sure, because self-declaration is only for class 1, and here they also talk about class 2, so I'm not sure exactly what are the rules, but mainly this is something that you can check if you are registering your products in Argentina, or if you have registered your product in Argentina. What are the rules for the registration inside this country, because it's simplified, so you can have maybe you were struggling before to register, now it's simplified, so just have a look at mainly the new rules for Argentina. Then we have Canada, that are modernizing their MDEL, so medical device establishment listing, which mainly is, I hope, helping the people that are trying also to register in Canada. Again, Canada, you need to be MDSAP to certify to register in Canada. There are 3 changes. I will just read them because I copied them. So the first change is to remove the requirements for foreign distributors to hold an MDEL if they are selling their medical device through Canadian importer already holding an MDEL. So if you have a foreign distributor, somebody that is located, let's say, in France, and they try to sell in Canada through an importer that has already the medical device establishment license, then there is no need for the distributor to have the medical device establishment license, which is then normal, if I can say. Then clarify the requirement that medical device establishment license holders must establish, implement, and maintain documented procedures. Then the last one is require all medical device establishment licenses, applicants, and license holders to provide a list of suppliers for the medical devices they import or sell in Canada. So apparently, you have to make some transparency about who are the suppliers that are providing you those devices. So this is the new rules. So if you are going to Canada, just have a look at that. I also put there the guidance on how to do a medical device license applications for Canada. So you can just go on the show notes and you have the 2 links, the one for the changes, the modernization, the second one for the guidance on how to register your devices in Canada. Brazil is now also modernizing their processes, their portals. So they are doing digitalization of certificates. If you were registering your device in Brazil, you remember maybe that the registration was published in an official journal, and what they are giving to you is just a copy of the page of the official journal and say, oh, your name is there, so you are registered. Now they are providing a digitalization for it, so you can ask for a certificate. So you go on this portal, you are putting your information, and you can ask for a certificate. And you can also, because I checked that, you can also verify your certificate if it's true or not. I saw some validation of certificate. So it's in place now, this since November 19th. There is a user instruction also how to do that. It's in Portuguese, but I suppose with the AI tools now you can translate everything, so you can try to use that. They also have a new certificate template. So mainly if you are having a certificate, so now there is a new template with new requirements or new elements inside. So it will be changing. So if you see a change of the template of certificate, it's normal. It's because of this new platform also. So don't hesitate to go on the show notes and you have the link for there. If you need a certificate, you can go there and ask it directly. Okay, now let's go to podcast nostalgia. So let's go to the podcast that we had this last month. The first one is about the journey of a CRO with Hélène Equi. So we are doing this series with people that can inspire you mainly by providing an explanation of what they have done, how was their journey. So we had multiple people that were nice enough to make that. So if you are interested also to share your journey that can maybe inspire others, don't hesitate to contact me, and then we can look at that. So this one is with Hélène Equi. So she grew a CRO, which is Eudamed Consulting, and here we have a lot of great information from her on how she has done that, and mainly also all the problems that she met within her journey. So don't hesitate to go on the podcast.easymedicaldevice.com to see all the podcasts that we have done. Next one is episode 364. And this is with Marina Deneco with what we talked about before, the ISO 10993-1, which mainly is the change or the update of the standard. And she's explaining to us everything related to what has changed, why it's changed. Also some situation with the US that we are not voting for that thing. So just get this podcast plus the video that we have also on the YouTube channel to have a full understanding of this process. Last one, the episode 365 with Rob Packard, and this one is really great because we have a lot of people that were asking me, how can I be a lead auditor? Is there a training for it, etc.? And this is great because Rob Packard has created a training now for lead auditor, so you can just go on the podcast and you can get the link for it. So it's important to understand who can do that also, why you should do that also, because we can be auditor, not specifically, you don't need specifically an accredited notified body that is giving you this title. You can have also some private training for doing that. So the objective here is just to understand what you should do during an audit. The solution here that Rob Packard is providing is the fact that all the other trainings were more about just training you on how to be an auditor and maybe one standard, which is ISO 13485. But Rob Packard is including more standards, so 14971 or other standards. So he's including standards that are helpful for you to audit, because when you go to audit a company, you will not just look at ISO 13485. Inside ISO 13485, we talk about 14971, for example, or 62366, or whatever 62304. So then he's helping you to review all those standards, even for software, for those kind of things, because there are some differences also related to software. So don't hesitate to go on the show notes and then to have a look at these podcasts. Okay, so it was a pleasure to have this podcast with you, this review for the December 2025 regulatory update. So it's the last podcast, like this one, the last monthly review for this year. So we'll have the next one next year. So again, if you need support for your quality and regulatory affairs projects, don't hesitate to contact me at info@easymedicaldevice.com, info@easymedicaldevice.com, and we have a team of full people that can help you within your project, clinical evaluation, technical documentation, even doing the laboratory tests like biocompatibility for 10993, for example, or 60601 testing, etc. So anything that you need for quality and regulatory affairs for medical devices, don't hesitate, contact us and we can really help you for that. And if I cannot help you, I know somebody that can help you, so no worry, we will share with you our contacts also. So thank you very much again, and I wish you a nice day.